So as I record this, I should have been flying from here, the Philippines, across here into Japan. Yeah, but as you can see, I'm still here in the office in Melbourne. So a lot of you have been asking me about the round the world trip, and in particular, the main question that all of you are asking is it still happening? Well, I just want to address that one first of all and say, yes, sort of, maybe. Look, I want it to still happen, and of course I'm planning for it to still happen, but the follow-on question I normally get then is, oh cool, it's still happening, when are you going? I've got no idea when this thing might actually happen now. I really like to spin this, ready? See, I originally thought that I'd postponed the round the world trip for 1 year. So I was due to set off on July the 29th this year, which was Monday this week as I record this, but I postponed it to the 29th of July 2021. I was pretty much ready for it. I'd done all the planning. I'd got the route planned. I knew where I was going. The aircraft was pretty much ready. I still had some things to do on the fuel tank, but basically the aircraft was in good shape. I had my permits, I had my clearances. I even had a visa for Russia, which is in my passport now, but obviously I'm not going to be able to use that because it's for 2020. So the best update I can give you at the moment is yes, I am still planning to fly around the world. No, I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but I have postponed it for a year back to July 2021. The thing is, between now and then, what it does mean is if you do stick around and keep watching the videos on this channel, which I sincerely hope you do, I'm still going to do a lot more flying in the meantime. I actually see this as a bit of a positive, to be honest, because there are opportunities now for me to practice more things and to fly to more places. So instead of sitting and stewing and just getting all worried about it, because there's far bigger things in the world going on other than my private flight around the world to worry about, I've been turning this into a positive and instead trying to focus on other things this week that do make me happy. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here in Melbourne. After yesterday's flight, I thought I'd wake up early again this morning. Not to go flying, but because in 14 weeks from now, it's the Melbourne Marathon, if it goes ahead. And even though I don't run the marathon, I've run the half marathon the last couple of years. I've run quite a few half marathons in my life. Really enjoyed that distance, and I've been getting back into my running the last couple of weeks again after a bit of downtime. And so I figured this morning, why not wake up early, do a lap of Albert Park here, around the lake. It's 5 kilometers all the way around, and if you get up early and do it first thing in the morning, when you finish, you're rewarded with this. It's when glamorous life today. If you're just interested in what that text message was, that was Jackie asking for my shoe size, because she's out buying me socks. Now, I was looking at the weather today, because today, if I would have been flying around the world, it's Wednesday as I'm recording this, I would have been leaving Darwin and flying across to East Timor, only a short hop. I was planning to do that with a good friend of mine as well, who was going to be in Darwin and was going to fly across that leg with me. I looked up the weather on Windy. Can you see all these sunshines? See all these sunshines? And can you see this from Darwin across to Dili? That's a tailwind. I never get tailwinds, and to do my first leg from Australia to another country, like my first new country on the round the world trip, it would have been a tailwind. It's 27 degrees Celsius. What I'm doing is I'm going round virtually in my head on the trip, kind of reliving some of these flights. I'm just checking the weather to see, well, would I have flown today? And the answer to the question, would I have flown with a tailwind, with perfect temperatures and clear skies? I reckon I would, yeah. I've had this penny board for a while, and I thought it might be a viable alternative means of transport for Echo Yankee Zulu. But as it turns out, when you're in your middle ages, and you've got as much grey hair as me, even if you did a tiny bit of skateboarding when you were a kid, it doesn't automatically mean you can still do it when you're a grown-up. See, I used to have an electric skateboard. It was not a boosted board like other well-known YouTubers, but it was an Evolve GTX Bamboo. I think that's what it was called. But of course the battery in those things, unless you get something like the Boosted Mini, the battery's too big to take on board an aircraft. But I might try an electric skateboard again in the future. Evolve have got a new one called the Stoke. I know Boosted have got the Mini, but you know, rest in peace, Boosted. Whoops. Wondering, today was supposed to be a rest day for me in East Timor. I was going to be spending the day on the ground, hanging with a friend of mine. We were planning to go to the cinema. He owns a cinema out there. And then tomorrow I was going to fly to the Philippines. It's Friday. Instead of being in the Philippines now, flying across the Philippines, I'm in Uniqlo. So the flight I would have done from East Timor to the Philippines, it was going to be 6.4 hours, fairly long leg. I would have needed the auxiliary fuel tank for that one as well, and over water, so lots of over water flying. Weather's looking pretty good. I just checked again. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. Pretty clear skies. No thunderstorms or anything to worry about, so that would have been okay. But just in case you're wondering, this is Chadstone Shopping Centre here in Melbourne. There isn't a requirement for people to wear face masks at the moment here in Melbourne. There are some restrictions on some suburbs who are back in lockdown again. The suburb that we live in isn't in lockdown. If they tell us that we need to wear them, of course I will wear them, but at the moment there's no requirement to wear them, so I'm not wearing a mask here in the shopping centre. Most people aren't actually. A lot of the staff members are, but most of the members of the public, no one's really wearing them here in Australia. Which brings me to the weekend as I record this now, and as I said, I was supposed to be in Japan. At this time I was going to take a bit of a break and I was going to have about 5 days on the ground. Jack was planning to come out and meet me, as was another friend. We were just going to kind of hang. People have asked me, people close to me and online, whether I'm disappointed if this trip, or because this trip isn't going ahead. And just to answer that quickly is, there's a disappointment in life when you do plan to do something big and there's something that you really want and you don't get to do it. In this case, because of this whole pandemic, I haven't been able to do it. But there's a far bigger disappointment in life if you don't actually plan and prepare and try something and then look back and wonder about, well, could I have done it? See, I'm disappointed that it's not going ahead, but I would have been way more disappointed if I'd have never spent the last 2 years planning to fly around the world and been here right now and thought to myself, oh, I wonder if I could have done it or got it in quickly before this whole pandemic thing happened. This whole what's happening in the world right now is preventing a lot of us from achieving ambitions and goals and dreams that we've had. I know a lot of you have written to me about even becoming a pilot. Or your ambitions in, flight training and a job in aviation, and saying, well, should I even bother? Is it even worth having those dreams anymore because of what's happening right now? Well, I truly believe that if you've got a goal and an ambition like that you really feel strongly about, if you want to do something like flying around the world, then act as if it's going to happen. Put yourself in the position where you're still going to train for it, you're still going to prepare for it, you're going to do everything within your means to try and achieve that. And if it doesn't happen because of something that's outside of your control, at least you know you tried. Most importantly, I hope you're doing okay as well. I know a lot of us are going through similar things. It's a massive first world problem of mine to not be able to take my own plane and fly around the world. I get that other people are doing it a lot worse than me. So if you are watching this and you are doing it tough at the moment, I really hope things change for the better for everyone, but especially for you as well. Thank you for supporting my work. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.